This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 19th day of January in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Region 10 is in line to receive a budgetary allocation of $7.1 billion, approximately $1 billion more than it received last year. But according to regional officials, when the sum is disaggregated, the region will receive less than $1 billion for the execution of capital projects, with many critical projects being excluded from the budget. According to the budget estimates, Region 10 will receive an allocation of $865.3 million for the execution of capital projects, which is $30 million more than it received last year. At a press conference today, Region 10 Chairman Darren Adams told reporters that the budgeted sum is inadequate, as he registered his disappointment in the government's repeated failure to meet the needs of the residents of Region 10. It was pointed out that of the $865.3 million budgeted for capital works, only $79 million has been set aside for roads. Adams said the sum indicates that the many roads in the region that are currently in a deplorable condition will not be rebuilt, and the situation will only deteriorate even more.
Living in the hilly sand and clay region, as we do, residents of Region 10 also have a special appreciation for the importance of drainage systems to guide runoff in an appropriate manner, since the penalty for ignoring this important development input is severe erosion that could destroy homes and businesses in a very short time. I know I would have sent photos to MP Sayers, and at some point he will be posting them if he was given the opportunity to edit them. So you will see what we are speaking of here. Our declared policy of budgeting for drains before or in consonance with roads continues to be ignored by the government, with 2024 only seeing the provision of $39 million for drainage work rather than the over $300 million in essential drainage work we had identified and requested.
Mr. Adams bemoaned the lack of appropriate and sufficient financing for the education, health, and agriculture sectors in his region, saying that it is clear that the budget is not people-centered. He said incomplete government projects have not escaped the attention of the people of the region. As he did in 2023, Adams complained bitterly about the lack of funding for the construction of a new building for the Region 10 administration. The project was initiated under the APNU-AFC government, but was never advanced by the current government. The region chairman said the region staff members are now left to work on the harsh conditions.
Regardless of political affiliation, our staff are forced to work in a building that has been deemed a fire hazard by the Guyana Fire Service. That is a fact. Some sections of this building are crumbling and are so dangerous that it is only by avoiding going into some spaces that accidents are avoided. That is a fact. Our employees also occupy a building that poses serious risk to their health, with human feces from the septic system backing up ever so often in their office spaces.
Meanwhile, the regional vice chairman Mark Gorey, who holds responsibility for sub-region 2, which includes Kokwani and other riverine communities, said the government's refusal to provide funding for the construction of living quarters for the agriculture extension workers at Maruni will negatively impact the farmers' ability to receive much-needed agricultural services in the sub-district.
The RDC has pushed hard for this project to be executed, since there is a clear call from farming communities along the Borbis River for the services of these officers. I am sure that our residents along the Borbis River will be very disappointed to know that this project has been denied, but we will continue to represent these development inputs for them. Similarly, the council had proposed several roads for inclusion in our capital program, which again were denied in budget 2024. Jamun Lane, Chinese Lane, Third Phase Road, Old Market Street, Jonestown Road, and Pottsville Road remain without funding in the RDC budget even after our council made representation for same.
And Member of Parliament Devin Sears told reporters that while Budget 2024 is not all bad, its shortcomings could have been remedied through wider consultation, participation, and involvement, which compares real-time data and projections through careful planning. He said while Guyana has become a global powerhouse economically due to the emerging oil and gas sector, such enormous wealth is plagued by mismanagement. He said it is clear that the government does not have a clear strategy to effectively address the issues facing the country. More news coming up in just a moment.
My lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
On Thursday, February 22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fed of MASH, Splashamani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Nuff Water, Pulse, Nuff Soca. The night before the holiday, Soca star Problem Child. Ola Tunji. Splashamani, the official wet fed of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Ola Tunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
It's your time to win big. The Massey Stores Christmas Jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
The Commission of Inquiry, which spent more than 2 months investigating the circumstances surrounding the Mahdia school dorm fire, handed over its final report to President Irfan Ali this afternoon. The COI's chairman, Major General retired Joe Singh, said the devastating fire, which claimed the lives of 20 children last May, was as a result of arson, confirming the earlier reports by the Guyana Fire Service and the Guyana Police Force. He said the report is the outcome of 2 visits by the Commission to Mahdia and neighboring villages in Region 8, where the victims lived, and testimonies from 29 witnesses. 14 of those witnesses provided written statements in addition to a number of reports. Retired Major General Singh said the Commission was able to gather sufficient credible evidence to ensure its findings fulfill the mandate as defined in the gazetted terms of reference. It was noted that the Commission's findings are based on evidence and expert reports received regarding the investigation and the circumstances and the cause of the fire.
Based on the evidence, we concluded that an individual intentionally set the fire. In summary, and notwithstanding this appalling act of arson, We determined that the events and circumstances leading up to and the causes of the Mahdia female dormitory fire were an unfortunate outcome of several factors. The influence of the mining culture on social relationships within communities, the vulnerability of youth, in particular teenage female students, the influence of adults in the mining sector who groom young females, in some cases with the tacit support of family members who benefit financially from such arrangements.
A 15-year-old girl is currently facing 20 murder charges over the deaths of her schoolmates in the fire. The COI chairman said a commission found that the fire service and education officials in the area were negligent in the execution of their mandate. He said while the hearings uncovered several inadequacies with regards to the lack of firefighting resources at the dorm, it was agreed that a better equipped dorm would not have delivered a different result due to the cause of the fire.
We found that there was a delay in contacting and/or seeking the assistance of the Mahdia fire station. Issues such as crowd control and access to the dormitory compound encountered by the fire service en route to the fire, inadequacies of the Mahdia fire service in rescue and firefighting equipment, and the lack of available water supply to fight the fire. These factors assisted with the speed of the conflagration.
He also said the report contains recommendations and measures to address issues that led to the fire. It also has recommended that a memorial be erected at the site of the fire to remember the 20 lives lost. President Irfan Ali, in receiving the report, also called for behavioral change among communities.
We have to also be honest to ourselves. We have to change the culture. Culture is an important part of some of the problems we're facing in our society. The Ministry of Education today is faced with tremendous difficulties in the behavioral pattern and changes in many schools. And we now have to work and see how we incorporate a higher degree of discipline through a systemic intervention, one in which we will have counseling, molding, even before we get to counseling, because many times counseling is after fact. How do we do molding of our young people?
The president also said the government is working on a robust implementation plan to improve facilities within both the education and health sectors and will incorporate the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry. Crime Chief Wendell Blenheim has confirmed that Guyanese wanted man Shaquan Allen, also known as Iswi, has been handed over to local police and is currently in the custody of the Guyana Police Force. On the heavy Surinamese police guard, Allen was brought across to Guyana from neighboring Suriname early this morning on the Guyana-Suriname ferry. News source understands that there were several heavily armed Surinamese police officers who escorted him on the trip home to face charges over the murder of his girlfriend Shanadova. The 21-year-old woman's body was found buried in a shallow grave in the backyard of Allen's home. The woman had been reported missing by the same man, triggering a community search, which ended when a statement was made from her sister that Dova had been shot and buried in the backyard of the boyfriend's home. Allen was last seen the day before the discovery of the body, and it was long suspected that he had fled the jurisdiction. Since April of 2021, he has been reportedly hiding out in neighboring Suriname and in French Guyana. Local police had received a number of reports of him being spotted in Suriname. He was arrested yesterday by the police in Suriname, and the Guyanese authorities were contacted and informed of the arrest, triggering the process to have him return to Guyana to face charges related to the death of Shanadova. Family members of the dead woman have said they are pleased that the suspect has finally been caught and returned to Guyana for justice. Charges are expected to be filed against him in the coming week.
Twice the fun, twice the thrill. On your next trip with Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama and enjoy 2 vacations in one at no additional airfare. Because to live life at its fullest, first you have to stop. So next time you fly Copa Airlines, stop over in Panama at no additional airfare.
Stock the finest in the country, both ceramic and porcelain, tiles and chandeliers you'll see while you shop around stress-free. Well, train stop at warming halls, make your shopping smooth and calm, providing you with quality to match your style that's so unique. Mima Decor.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Well, despite the commitment by the government a year ago to appoint the board of directors of the Linden Enterprise Network, the financial institution is still without that board. And according to the budget estimates, the organization will again receive only $50 million to cover operational expenses. Today, Region 10 regional officials, including the regional chairman, the regional members of parliament, and other officials, said a provision of just $50 million for the organization is a clear indication that the government has no intention to effectively operationalize the lending institution, much to the detriment of the business community in Linden and by extension the region. Member of Parliament Devin Sayers explained that in the absence of the board, the organization is unable to issue loans.
Every year, $50 million is allocated to lend. We know that it is still receiving the repayment of loans that were taken from way back when. Additionally, it's earning from rental of office spaces, etc. And this money goes into an account and it pays staff, security, utilities, etc. But like I said, over the years, it has accumulated, I think, over $300 million, which is supposed to be released for persons who want to start a small business, training, and etc. However, because there is a lack of a board, these funds are cannot be released.
And noting that there is no justification for the delay in the appointment of the board, Mr. Sears said at this point the region simply wants the money to be made available to its people for the development of their businesses. And weighing in on the issue, Region 10 Chairman Darren Adams told reporters that since the change in the administration in August of 2020, funding for the organization has been frozen.
As you would recall, it was the coalition government that activated a process where over $150 million was made available to Linden Enterprise Network to help small businesses. That number has since grown to close to $300 million. But since 2020, when the government, present government assumed office, the board was dissolved and LEN has not been lending monies. In fact, several of the staff would have resigned, and we have been calling for that board to be reconstituted so that farmers and small businesses can be assisted in their endeavors.
During the consideration of last year's budget estimates, Minister of Finance Dr. Ashley Singh, when pressed for answers, told the opposition MP to Finance that the appointment of the board was pending. At the time, he said the matter was actively engaging the attention of the government as a matter of urgency. LEN is being managed by a Chief Executive Officer, Tunisia Gasper. Turning our attention now to the tourism sector and air travel. Having overcome many of the challenges, the tourism industry in Guyana is poised for a dramatic takeoff this year. That's according to the minister responsible for finance, Dr. Ashley Singh. In his budget presentation earlier this week, the finance minister said the introduction of new services by United Airlines and American Airlines augur well for the tourism industry.
Looking ahead, sir, United Airlines has announced the introduction of a service from Houston to Georgetown 4 times weekly to commence from April 2024. This provides yet another route into the US with improved connectivity to third cities in the US and beyond, and will ease the pressure and increase availability on existing Miami and New York services. In June 2024, American Airlines will expand their services with an additional daily flight between Miami and Georgetown. Mr. Speaker, the new services by United and American will add 137,268 new seats to the market in 2024. These will make a huge impact on seat availability, pricing, and commuter options and convenience.
Last year, the number of arrivals amounted to more than 319,000 visitors, surpassing the previous year's figures, and amounting to 10.7% increase relative to the level recorded the previous year. The finance minister told the National Assembly that the volume and cost of airlift into Guyana has historically been one of the key factors affecting the growth of the tourism sector. However, with improved connectivity and added airline routes, those issues are gradually being addressed. It was pointed out that in 2023 alone, British Airways introduced a twice-weekly service from London via St. Lucia, which dramatically improved connectivity with destinations in the Caribbean and Europe. Canada Jet Lines, in partnership with Fly Always, improved access to the Canadian market by introducing a twice-weekly service to Canada via the Dominican Republic. And Suriname Airways recently introduced a Bridgetown-Georgetown Paramaribo service. The Minister of Finance said in addition to the increased airlifts, hotel room capacity is also poised for a significant increase, with the construction of several new hotels.
I'm happy to report that over 1,000 world-class rooms will be added to the stock by the end of 2024. Importantly, sir, many of these are from internationally recognized chains, including an Aden Best Western in Georgetown, expected to open its doors by May and add 150 rooms, a Marriott Courtyard at Timeri, expected to open by August, adding another 150 rooms, a 4 Points Sheraton at Providence, poised for completion by December, adding 172 new rooms, an AC Marriott at Ogle, expected to open its doors by December, adding 152 new rooms, a Hyatt Place at Providence on the east coast of Demerara, expected to open by December and adding 160 rooms.
Dr. Singh said construction will continue on several other hotel properties, not only in Georgetown but also on the west of Demerara, Essequibo, and in Berbice. He also said the government remains committed towards addressing the ever-growing demand for services in the industry through the establishment of the Hospitality Institute. Millions have been allocated in the national budget every year since 2021 for the construction and establishment of a Hospitality Institute. That project is yet to take off.
Are you looking to start or advance your career with one or more of our world-class associate, bachelor, or master's degrees in 14 specializations from the comfort of your home worldwide? Then look no further than the University of Excellence Management in Business, UEMB. We are affordable, accessible, flexible, multi-world class, internationally accredited and locally recognized by NAC Guyana as a tertiary degree granting college. For more details on our no strings attached 60% scholarship and our payment plan, please call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 681-3434 or 618-3434. Visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College front building, Wolford Avenue, Georgetown, Guyana. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
Imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Foodmax and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Foodmax, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, was on lockdown on Thursday as flaming barricades across several neighborhoods forced residents to shelter in place or return home in the latest flare-ups in chronic gang violence plaguing the Caribbean country. Streets were blocked off by burning tires and rocks, sending up huge plumes of black smoke in the sky across various parts of the city, according to Reuters eyewitnesses. It was not immediately clear who was behind the siege in the city's Salinas area, which first began several days ago. Analysts say violence has been escalating for months as gangs jockey for power and seek to put pressure on interim Prime Minister Ariel Henry ahead of the February 7 expiry of a political accord that consolidated his power. The violence comes ahead of a court decision expected on January 26 on a Kenyan-led multinational force to address gang violence in the country, one of the poorest in the Western Hemisphere. A new report by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, has found that public debt load in the Caribbean has fallen sharply to nearly pre-pandemic levels. The report urges governments to continue on the path of prudent debt management given uncertain global risks. A statement from the IDB says the publication reveals the average debt GDP ratio rose from 75% in 2019 to 99% in 2020 and is estimated to have fallen to 77% at the end of 2023. The sharpest declines were observed in Guyana between 2020 and 2022 and in Jamaica between 2010 and 2019. Dealing with debt in the Caribbean, part of the Caribbean Economics Quarterly Report series, explores the economic realities caused by most recent pandemic and the pathways towards safe levels of public debt for a sustained economic recovery. The publication analyzes public debt trajectories and policy perspectives. Among others, it looks at debt management in the Bahamas, Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. And finally tonight, international news. Pakistan and Iran have restored diplomatic ties, according to the caretaker prime minister, BBC said in a report. It comes after both countries exchanged drone and missile strikes on militant bases on each other's territory. As a result of the tit-for-tat attacks, Iran and Pakistan withdrew their ambassadors from their respective capitals. Both ambassadors are now expected to return to their posts following talks. Iran said Thursday's strikes killed 9 people in a border village on its territory, including 4 children. Pakistan said an Iranian attack on Tuesday killed 2 children. There has been no immediate comment from Iran on the talks. Early on Friday, Pakistan expressed its willingness to work with Iran on all issues following a call between their foreign ministers. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.